Okay, so I think we're live now. Uh, so let me try to explain a little bit the structure that we currently have in our MetPlus resume cruncher.
Yeah.
Um, so for this application, I decided to use, instead of Maven, to use Gradle for the compilation system. It's not a newer thing, but it's an interesting thing, and I wanted to learn a little bit about it, so I just used it, and it looks more clean because I hate XML. So I'm a little bit biased on this side. As I hate XML, I hate doing stuff with Maven.
Okay.
So basically, we have here our project. It has the files that are used to configure Gradle. Basically, it's the build and the settings. And in the settings, we define the names, the modules that we are going to include, and that's it. Also, we have here OpenShift and the proc file. We are not going to use this anymore, so I don't think we need this. So we have all the tests are done in Travis, and currently we have here this configuration is very simple. We currently use the MongoDB, but we are not connecting to it. I will have to remove this service, but it's a very simple thing. The only thing it does, it's an assemble that does that creates the war, and then it will run the tests on it. So the application is structured. As you know, this application, the main focus of it is it's a web service that will receive requests from our application. And those requests are to create to upload a resume, to retrieve a resume, to upload a job, to retrieve a job, to search all the jobs that match a resume, to search all the resumes that match a job.
Right.
So basically, this is the functionalities that we currently have implemented here, and this is what it does. When you try to upload any information, it will store that information into a Mongo database. All the files, when you process the files, it stores in the Mongo database, everything. So everything is persisted in the Mongo database to make it easier and simpler, so we don't have to worry about files and file systems and everything. Everything is done with the Mongo database. Okay, so let's go on. Let's talk about each part of this project. This project is currently it's going to increment a little bit on not in the near future, but eventually it is going to be a little bit bigger. We currently have 4 modules. One that is called app, one that is called core, database, and expression cruncher. What is each one of them? What does each one of them do? The app, as the name says, it's the app part. So basically in here, we will have everything that is related with our interface. So we have our security procedures. We have our controllers here, like the administration controller, the curriculum controller, the one that you upload stuff to and retrieve and everything. So in here, we have our Spring Boot application that runs, and we have the controllers that call stuff in the other side. Our core, as the name states, is basically all the core functionalities that we currently have on this part. So basically, it's things that needed a place to live because they are shared on multiple places. For example, the database configuration, we have an object here. We also created interfaces for multiple things. for the cruncher, for cruncher list, for the matcher, and so on. Exceptions, initializers, and parser implementation. So this parser implementation, basically what it does is it picks up a file, sends it to an external library called Tika from Apache, and sends the file with the information, and the library will remove all the things that are not needed and just sends back the text. So that's what we need. That's what this parser is. So in terms of core functionalities, as you can see, is basically more interfaces and things that we need for other things. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Spring or not.
Spring, no.
No, okay. So basically, it's a very big library that has a bunch of things, and it's like one of the biggest libraries for Java that allows you to create web applications and have a bunch of other functionalities around that allows you to create beans and persist them, serialize objects, and it's a huge framework that it's like something like Rails with a bunch of gems over it, but for Java. So in here we have two objects that store everything, all the crunchers and all the matchers, because the application was thought when I thought this, when I designed this, I wanted to allow the possibility to have multiple crunchers, so multiple ways to crunch a file, and that's why we have things like the interface for the cruncher, where we have a function that will crunch, and then we'll implement this in another place. So to try to have it as flexible as we can. So database, as the name says, we have all the database stuff. So we abstracted all the things that are related with the database using Spring Data. That works more or less like Active Record, but it implements a different bunch of things. We currently are using the Mongo, the Mongo Spring Data. And in here we have configuration, we have packages with converters that converts a list to a list of settings. This is basically the domain. We have the models. So for example, for a job, we will have a title, a job ID, and a description. And then meta information, metadata, and metadata. Okay. And for example, for a resume, we have a file name, a file type, a user ID, and we will store it using readfs operations. So basically, we will store it there. So everything is abstracted here, where I just pass the configuration and the file, and everything should work. So if we wanted to change this into a relational database or something like that, we would have to just come here and change things. For example, in terms of Active Record in Rails, allows you to, it creates for you all the CRUD operations that you have. In Spring, you don't have that. So you need to create an interface. You just define an interface and say that cruncher setting repository interface will be a CRUD for this object type, and string is the ID that we are using, the type of the ID. So it will create us the CRUD interface for this. This is also good and used for example, if you want to specify more functions like because this is not the language that allows you to do a lot of meta programming. So you cannot have those things that you currently have in Rails, like the find underscore by and then the names and everything. You need to set some functions up that we might need. For example, on this one, we created a a function called resumes on criteria, where you pass a criteria. It will return you a list of resumes, and we implemented it here. So it's more or less this. Template, it's just something that is needed for Mongo, and it's empty for now. So basically, in terms of database, this is what we have. And then this is the core of all our application. In these three projects here, in these three modules, we have all the application working. So what's the expression cruncher? The expression cruncher is a thing that will crunch your resume. Okay, so let me just go back here into the app, because, for example, when you upload a file, when you upload a resume, we don't want to be waiting for the file to be processed in order to go back and say, oh, it's okay. So as soon as we upload the file into the cruncher, we send an OK back to the Rails side, and you can follow up. And then we will queue the crunching process into two queues, if it's a job or if it's a resume, and then we will crunch it offline in a separate thread. So basically, we do this and we crunch it. As you can see here, we pick up all the crunchers. We have a repository of crunchers. We get all the crunchers, and we crunch the document, and we save the information, the metadata created for that specific cruncher. So this way, we can have 10 crunchers if we want, one more specific, one less specific, or with nicest algorithms or worst algorithms, and we can have everything here and do whatever we want with this. So this processes offline the jobs and also the resumes. So currently, the only cruncher that we have implemented, it's the expression cruncher. This expression cruncher is a very dumb thing. The only real work it does is it picks up uses all the settings, but the thing it does is counts the number of words and the number of times each word shows up in the document. Okay. So it's a very simple thing. It has some tweaks that allow us to improve it, like it allows us to, for example, to remove words or expressions that we don't want to look into, that we don't need. For example, for this, I don't know. So currently, the words that we are ignoring are these, like a, or, and, then, must, least, I, am, of, but, our, mine. So words that don't help us in any way, so we remove them.
Okay.
Then we can crunch it using case sensitive or non-case sensitive. In our case, we're using non-case sensitive, so we just do a to lower. Then we do something that is merge words. What does this mean? For example, we have here two lists that are mergeable. So every time we see software development or software development lifecycle or something else that we have in this list, it will be converted into software development. Every time that we see cook, line cook, or whatever we put in this list, it will be converted into cook. This way we can group all the skills that we believe that should be merged and that we want to take into account. So that's the next step. And afterwards, it just counts the words and saves the result. This is the cruncher, and so this is a very simple cruncher. And then we have a even simpler matcher that will match the jobs with the resumes and the resumes with the jobs. So we have here a bunch of code that basically what it does is it compares the after the resume it's crunched and the job title and the description. When we call this function to retrieve all the resumes that match a job title and description, we will match the title, and for now just the title, no, the title and the description. We get the word that is more used in the title and the word that is more used in the description, and we try to find a resume that has that word as the most any of those two words as the most common. Okay. And for the resumes, when we want to get the jobs that are related with a resume, we do exactly the same thing. We get the most common word in the resume, and then we try to find a job which the title is also the most, as that word as the most common, and that's it. Basically, this is a very dumb thing. I've been looking into other possibilities and try to get some more efficient algorithms around to put them here, but the integration in here should be pretty easy. If we are going to use like libraries or something, we just need to make sure that we follow our interfaces and that we implement our interfaces with those crunchers. For example, this one. We just need to override this function and this function, create these two functions, and then we can do whatever we want. That's it for the crunching and the matchers. This is more or less our application. Currently, it's more or less final for the first version. I'm thinking the possibility of adding something else here, but I don't know if we're going to have it for version 1.0. Was this clear? Do you have any question?
Yeah, I kind of getting the idea now. You may kind of I have a kind of clear picture what it does, and if I want to go and do something to it, I know where to find it now. And now I think we have in our apps we have what is this, a servers. So we have to connect this the cruncher with our apps, right?
Yes.
So can you go through how we do that? I don't know. We have some kind of a file class in our apps, and I was wondering how we do that.
Okay.
In a file in apps we have some.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm going to share. I'm going to start with mine.
Sure.
So this connection from the other side, it's Patrick that has been developing it, because I didn't want to develop this part. I know it would be easier and I could have already done everything, but by outsourcing it to someone else, I was hoping that eventually some problems that were with the interface and everything could be found easily, because I already know all the interface and everything looks good for me. So that's why it's currently on the hands of Patrick.
Okay.
Let me, just a second, I need to. Share my screen because you're not seeing it now. Okay, so you're seeing my screen?
Yes.
So app here. We currently, for this, we created three parts. The first part is the resume, and this resume is an active record, not like, it's an active record model, because we're going to save on the database for the job seeker. The job seeker will have the ability to have many resumes, and what we will save there, we will save basically our identifier that we're going to use to store the resume on the service. So this is a very simple thing. The only thing that it does, it's saves, calls the super, so it saves on the database, and then calls this upload resume from the resume cruncher that will start doing the update. This is also a model that the only thing that this does, and it's to abstract completely a service, it's calling this upload file. Let me step back a little bit and talk why something like this. As we have a service, my idea for this part was to try to implement microservices into our Rails app. And to do that, we need to get the place where there are a bunch of things that allow us to do that. There are some gems and libraries and stuff that allows you to do microservices. And for now, we're implementing almost everything ourselves. So in terms of a service, we have a cruncher service, and this service can be found in the service folder. Where is that? Here, service folder. So basically, we will have a resume cruncher. We'll have a job something as well, a model that will abstract our calls to this service, and then the service is responsible to just call what it has to call and do what it has to do. So it will have functions for multiple things. So our cruncher service uses the REST client gem to support the HTTP connection, because we have a REST API on the Java side, on the service side. So it's everything REST-like. So we can use our REST client here, and the process is fairly simple. For example, for our upload file, it does some checking to make sure everything is correct, and then afterwards it will post the resume into the service, and that's it. If it's not authorized, it's because you don't have the login done, because in the web service you need to log in order to do operations over it. So if you're not authorized, what it will do is try to authorize again. So it will do a post into the authentication service that we currently have running, or the URL, the endpoint that we currently have running on the web server, to do the authentication. The authentication will return a token, and you can use the token again to do the connection. So you see here, one of the things that is passed into the request is the token, the authentication token, and this will upload the file. Afterwards, we'll create other functions that we need, like we need to download a file, download the resume. I'm not yet sure how we are going to do this, but eventually we'll have the search functionality here. Or if I have the will and the time, I might eventually use Maha to create all the searches and to do the crunching of our resumes and the crunching of the jobs and the recommendation engine that is pre-built with Maha. So I don't know if I have time and if I want to, because currently I'm not very eager to start working on that because we need to instantiate the cluster of Hadoop, and I don't have the time nor to sit and look into it and see how it goes, because currently we have a lot of work that still needs to be done on the Rails app, and I'm trying to to push on that part. So basically, this is a way we are going to connect to our web service using this cruncher or the resume cruncher. So basically, the application will use the resume cruncher that internally will use the service to connect outside. So eventually, if we want to move this back, everything into Rails, we can just implement whatever we need to implement on this inside this class resume cruncher and be done with it. So everything is very flexible that allows to go from one side to another as easy as possible. Was this clear? Do you have any question about it? You're muted. Salim, are you there?
Okay, sorry. I muted myself. I start talking by myself, I guess. Okay, sorry. Can you go back to Cruncher service RB file? So the URI is it defined in on the other side, right?
Sorry?
See, we have, let's see, on there you have your mouth, you're pointing. There's a service URL plus curriculum plus upload. That URL, is it defined on the other side or is here inside our apps?
It's inside our app because you need to know where that information is. So currently we have this into our one of the initializers. You see here, that is called Cruncher service. If you have an environment variable called Cruncher service URL, then it will use it. If not, it will try to connect locally.
Oh, look. Okay. Oh, okay. I think that's it, I guess. And then okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, that's it, I guess. I guess kind of clear a little bit, but then I have to go over it by myself and then see if I can figure out some other stuff. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I have for now. That's it. So, what else? Some hours. So, for our MVP, do you think when do we think we were ready? We were going to be ready?
I thought we were closer, but then I created a document, an Excel document on a sheet on Google Docs, and there's a bunch of things that need to happen before we can be ready. So we currently have partially created the jobs. We have done a lot of background work, but the job seeker page, it's not finalized because we need to have a view of the job seeker for the job developer, for the case manager, for the company, that are completely different things.
Yeah.
We need to have to implement the company homepage. It's not yet finalized. We need to implement the case manager page, homepage. We have the job developer homepage more or less ready, but it needs to be refactored a lot. We have a bunch of other things that we currently have still in process. We cannot search. We cannot retrieve resumes. We cannot apply to jobs. We cannot a bunch of things. So we are. I thought it would take us around maybe 2 sprints to do everything, or at least to have a more or less final thing. But I don't think so. Unfortunately, I don't think so. And by looking at Waffle, currently, it's interesting because last week we voted on stories on the middle of the week. I believe
Yeah.
and I'm stuck again. So yeah, I'm stuck again. Because currently, there are things that I could do, like because currently we have on that are ready.
Yes.
The things are that are in the ready column. It's add the task board to agency person.
Uh-huh.
Create a list of job seekers with case manager, a list of job seekers that don't have a case manager, and associate a job category with skills. This is what we currently have on the ready column. All the things that are related with case manager, we need first to create a case manager homepage. So we're more or less blocked there, and these stories will only go forward when we have an okay from chat for these 2 pages. The only thing I could pick up it was the associate job categories with skills, but I was waiting a little bit for it to see if Patrick wanted to pick that story or not, or how we wanted to go, and that's it. We don't have anything else voted on. We have a bunch of chores that we need to do. We need to start implementing search and stuff like that, and currently we have no stories for that.
So, since you brought up a search, do you are we using a gem for the search, or we can implement a small algorithm by ourselves? What do you take? What are you thinking? I mean, there's some gems already there. You can just add that, or if not that complicated for our search, we can just implement our own.
The problem is that our searches are very specific because we are going to search job seekers using their resume.
Yeah.
For example, things simple as I want to search for a job seeker using their name. That's one thing. Or for a job by the title. Those are things that we can implement very easily. I'm not sure if we need a gem for that, but we can look to see if we can use. Maybe eventually, because if you want to have Ajax, you have to have like autocompletes and stuff like that on the searches. Or like you start typing in the list, start shrinking and showing and everything. That's one thing. But for that we don't need gems. We just need I don't know. Maybe I think React has something for that. I'd love to use Angular, but unfortunately we're not using Angular anywhere, so we're not going to start using it now. But that's it. So basically, this is more JavaScript side and especially a Rails need, I believe, in terms of search. But we can look into the gems for search and see what's around.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind using either of them. And wait. Are you really familiar with the Angular JS?
No, but that's one of the things that I wanted to use. I wanted to use Angular to start using Angular. I've done some things in Angular, but I'm not a JavaScript expert, and it takes me my time to go through Angular. But I'd love to have all the website in Angular, but as no one ever used Angular before here
Yeah.
in the group?
No. I think I would say I'm familiar with Angular. I'm not that good at it, but I think I can do something. I was thinking to do at least the index page for the jobs to use Angular, because uh, maybe in future we'll have a bunch of jobs, so probably it will be easier to to use Angular, to display and then you know uh, manipulate the jobs. So I was thinking about it, but then I said, okay, maybe people they might say, oh no, don't start using the new stuff. I just say, okay, let me you
Yeah,
know
the problem I think we might have there is that, for example, Patrick didn't know JavaScript and wanted to learn JavaScript.
yeah.
I'm not sure how Vijaya is with JavaScript and how Amy is with JavaScript. Um, but if we can start doing some things here and there, but it would break a little bit into the website where we have some things in Angular, some things in jQuery, and I don't know.
Right, that's true. I agree with you. Yeah, it's. I think it's kind of like too late for now, I guess, because we have
Yeah.
to go back again. Maybe get rid of the what is trouble links, gem, and stuff like that. Those ones, because most likely we're gonna need it with the Angular JS.
No, with Angular we do not need the turbo links.
Yeah. So I think it's too late for now, but maybe in future. I mean, if you guys, if you decide to do, I think Angular is the good option for the apps.
Yeah, when I started this, I thought about doing it with Angular, all the front end, but I didn't had much time at the time to really go through all the Angular stuff, and I was able to do. I had done some things, very small things with Angular,
Yeah.
but I was not very proficient on it, so it was easier for me to just do it in Rails because I was more proficient in Rails
Okay.
than Angular. So, and
Okay.
as I said before, that there was no human capital to use Angular. So
Okay. All right. I think, for me, that was a really good discussion with you, and I'll be attending the Scrum. Hopefully, I'll planning to attend. Then maybe we'll discuss on the Kankan and Pandits.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. So do me a favor. Just post me the YouTube link for this pair programming session.
Oh, the
On
link.
chat?
Okay. Sure.
So I can just post it on the website, and we have there more or less an explanation how this will all integrate. Okay.
All right. Sure. Hold on. Right. Let me. I got it.
Not yet. Did you post the no no
Oh, on the chat, on the Slack.
no. Oh wait. You posted on a chat on the
I did.
chat?
Yes, I did on the chat. Actually, two
Uh, yes, I need the not the link to the to the Hangout, but the YouTube video that will come out from there.
YouTube video. Okay, how did you do that? I mean, I'm not sure. I
Usually,
know.
it's easier. It's easier if you started it with the website. If you have started the Hangout with the website, it will be easier. Do you have a YouTube account?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So let's see.
So I'll probably, if I log in, I'll see the this right, this video.
Yeah, if you go there and go to your channel, the
Okay.
things that that you created, and then just paste it on the chat, the YouTube link, and we can share it on one of the documents.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So, any more questions? Anything else?
That's all for today. I mean, that's it. I get some clarification. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. So I'll see you in the scrum.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.